What up, Dokkaners? We had a data download last night on the global side of the game, JP2 actually. So in this video, we're going to be talking about when the banner is going to be dropping on global. The banners, Super Saiyan 3 and Hirudegarn are both going to be dropping tonight. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about everything in the data download, and we'll also talk about the April Fool's unit. It's not that it's confirmed, but it does seem very likely that it is going to be someone in particular that people have been asking for. So let's just dive in here. 666 megabytes worth of data. Hopefully you guys are able to download that. Big shout out to Proton for all things data download information. Follow him on Twitter at Proton10MG. Okay, thank you. Actually, before we take a look at this, let's start with when the banner's dropping. So the banner's going to be dropping tonight. Technically tonight. But it's maybe a little bit later than that. Stupid daylight savings, man. It just ruins everything. It's going to be dropping March 31st, 11:30 p.m. PDT, which is basically April 1st. But it's 6.5 hours after the upcoming daily reset. So that's a little bit of an easier way to figure it out, as I typically say for these types of videos. If you want to know exactly what time that is for you, if you can't add 6.5 to your time of reset, then simply go to the new Dokkan Wiki or to DokkanInfo.com, and you will see when the banner is dropping for you in your specific time zone. Very, very easy, but 6.5 hours after reset. So now let's take a look at the Proton data dump here. Promo movie, Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Hirudegarn, AGL Super Saiyan Goku Awakening and EZA. That's the April Fools from last year. We don't know what this year's going to be. Is it just going to be this? Or is there going to be more? There should be more. Tech Super Satan Diamond Statue. Yeah, we'll get back to that one in a second. Tech Tapion EZA. Quest Mode Area 33, Stage 3. We'll talk about that in a second. Brief Breather. I was going to say Brief Feather. Dragon Ball moment. Brief Breather. Fighter Rejuvenated Stage 2. That's the April Fools from last year's second stage. New stage for Dokkan event, ESBR for Planet Namek Saga. Extreme Z area, special characters, stage 11. That's for the Super Saiyan Goku, Burst Mode, LR Super Saiyan Goku, and Battlefield 68. Now, the Battlefield situation, some of you might be curious about. Battlefield is kind of being wonky. So Global apparently has once again skipped another Battlefield ID. In layman's terms, this basically is like they're skipping Battlefields in order for Global to catch up. Take that how you will. If you're happy about it, great. If you're sad about it, I don't blame you. But it looks like that's how they're going to catch Global up in terms of the Battlefield portion, at least. I mean, in terms of logistics, it's the easiest solution because you just skip and you have nothing to worry about, which is annoying because it does mean less stones, if that is how this is supposed to be interpreted. But yeah, that's what they're doing. So if you know, let me know how you feel about that. It looks like that's how it's going to be. I think JP is still, what, like 3 more Battlefields ahead or something? So we skipped 64, we skipped 67, and now we've jumped to 68. So there's that. Now, in regards to the banner itself, we've already talked about the banners. Which banner, if you are going to summon, first of all, I don't advise anybody summon, because you just, like, 9-year anniversary transcends everything. These units are good. 9-year is gooder, way gooder, and I said gooder for a reason. Yes, but they are also going to be giving us discounts, and they're also going to be giving us dual Dokkan Festival tickets. So they are trying to get whatever they can from those of you who cannot control your impulse, your buyer's impulse, or for those of you who are going to be summoning. There are going to be non-stone versions. Well, actually, that's not true. You are going to have to spend some stones if you want to do this, but they will probably offer some Pilaf's Trove deal. Also, you've got these tickets. So it's sort of like a return on investment. Again, this is cool, but it's just the timing. It's just bad. Like, these units are good, but even if you don't want to wait for 9-year, like we got Golden Week coming up literally next month. So even that is going to be more important than the Super Saiyan 3 Hirudegarn. They will be around and they will come back. Don't forget, Global has to eventually catch up to JP, which means whether or not Global gets a catch-up banner, Global is still going to accelerate their timeline in accordance to JP's schedule. So the units that you guys skip, just think about that. The units that you skip will return sooner than they normally would take, because we are basically jumping ahead in time. We are not going to be operating at the same schedule. We're going to be catching up to JP. So a unit that would take a year to come back at this juncture would instead take like 9 months to come back, or 8 months, something like that. So try to think about it that way if you are on the fence about summoning or skipping. Once again, like I said in my previous video, if you have to choose one or the other, I would say go for the Hirudegarn banner, because that one you're going to have Orange Piccolo. You've got the World Tournament Goku, and you've got Hirudegarn. Hirudegarn's one of the best extreme units in the game right now. and he will get better with the Broly unit dropping later on. So he will be someone that I think is more important to have out of the two. Both are good, but like if you have to choose one, again, don't summon on either one, in my opinion, but it is your decision. Moving on here. Did I mention this? The buy three get one? I think I did. Buy three get one free tickets. So you're gonna be able to get tickets for each one. They'll probably have some deal for it. Yes. Next, let's talk about the quest mode. So quest mode has received an update, Area 33-3. Now, unfortunately, I didn't think to record this, me doing it, but I will show you. When you go to quest mode, Area 33-3 does show up. You're able to clear it, and they've also given us missions now for the last three like areas of quest mode. So how to access this is to go to your missions tab. You're going to click on the Supreme Kai one, click on trial, go to quest, and then depending on whichever ones you've done, you'll see whichever ones are not done. If you've done everything, then these bottom three will be available. They will not be readily seen. You'll have to scroll down and find it, but it'll show you all of the missions that you have to do. Now, for the majority of them, they're very easy. You simply have to clear the event without dying. You have to pick up like 5 incredible gems. All of those are very easy to do. There are a couple of missions that are a little bit more annoying, so I just want to warn you guys about a couple of them. I wrote them down. So 32-5 is kind of annoying because this one is contingent upon you picking up a skill orb from that event or from that quest stage. This has to do with the Trunks and Broly LR quest, their skill orbs. If you're able to pick one up on your first run, great. Sometimes you may not be able to. I didn't get my skill orb drop until the third run, so it cost me a couple of extra stamina, but this one might take you a little bit more effort. So keep that in mind for 32-5. 32-6, 32-7, 32-8 would all benefit greatly if you had the LR Trunks and Broly with you, because then you would do increased damage against the enemy, making the damage threshold for this mission easier, making the damage threshold for this mission easier, and making it a heck of a lot more consistent to actually beat the event in 2 turns. I'm not going to do the event, but I am going to show you that they even show you that the unit is valued higher. So let me go to 32, 32-6. This is the team that I brought. So this was my link level team at the time. I literally just ran the same team again. Nobody here fits the team, but I had the Trunks and Broly as the lead. I had the Goku Vegeta as the friend lead. I literally just had 1 or 2 on the first 2 rotations, and that was it. It was over. So just do that for those 3 missions, and it'll be very easy. The rest of them are pretty straightforward. Clear them, you know, things like that. Always use super attacks. For that mission, actually, let me just remind you, for the mission that says every character has to launch a super attack, as long as their first attack is a super, you're fine. If they launch additional attacks afterwards, it's not going to harm you. It's not going to work against you. Their main attack has to be a super. So then, with all of those Supreme Kai stones that you get from this, they will be usable in the Boba Shop. Now, again, I already bought it, unfortunately, so I will show you over here. This is what it looks like before you redeem the missions. They automatically redeem for you. You don't have to manually do it, so they'll automatically complete. And then when you go to the Boba Shop, you click on this. So it's on the right of the battlefield currency. You'll see this circular purple one. And the Supreme Kai Stone, they will have a refreshed set of inventory. 2 Elder Kais, 10 or 50 character slots, and 2 extra stamina, permanent stamina boosts. So if you complete all of those missions and get all of those Supreme Kai Stones, you will obtain 260 Supreme Kai Stones, which you can then use to redeem for every single item in the inventory shop. If you are behind and you haven't done some of the older missions, then you have a heck of a lot more inventory to choose from and to pick up. So that will keep you newer players occupied. But for those of you who are, you know, up to date, you will be able to buy everything in here. So don't worry about that. So this is a very, very nice new update. It will give you more box space. It will give you more permanent stamina. This will allow you to have even more things to do basically in a game when your game is fully full. Fully full. Did I really just say that? I did. I'm gonna keep it. Also, I'm pretty sure I don't even have to say. I mean, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. When we hit full synchro, or when we hit Golden Week, both versions will be getting the quest mode overhaul, because both versions are now caught up on the same quest stage. So now both are equally ready to obtain this like new quest mode UI thing that they talked about in the video. So that should be dropping in about a month. And I think that's about it. Oh, the last thing that I wanted to talk about, is the April Fool's unit. So I think we are going to be getting a Super Saiyan Hercule. I did not think this was originally going to happen. I thought that it was in the future potentially, but I didn't think it was going to happen now. So given that in the data download, we have a Tech Super Satan Diamond statue, I mean, that was clue number one, but I kind of thought that this was like, okay, they're aware of the character. They are going to do something with it, but I thought it was just going to be this. But now that we see in the assets that this is the login screen, that's kind of cool because this is the Caped Hercule from the Super Saiyan Hercule, where he fights Lord Beerus, the vampire version of Beerus. So this could just be because, like, when they do these April Fool's gimmicks, they go all out. A couple years ago, they did Dokkan of the Dead. I didn't know that was based on a game. I thought it was like Shaun of the Dead or The Walking Dead. But apparently there was a game called House of the Dead, which, I mean, they're all the same. I don't know scary stuff. I hate scary stuff. But anyway, when I saw Dokkan City, I thought of two things. Number one, Sim City. Number two, Caleb City. Caleb City probably has nothing to do with Dokkan. But the Sim City part, maybe. Not that that matters. You're not going to actually be able to play anything. But because it's seemingly framed through the lens of Hercule, that kind of lends more credence to the theory that a Super Saiyan Hercule could be coming. Because, like, he narrates the story. So maybe this whole April Fool's gimmick is like centered around Hercule being the main character and he fights Lord Beerus and wins, right? So I feel like there's a pretty good chance we could be getting this. We'll have to wait and see. It is still the day before April Fool's, so maybe there will be something else that drops in tomorrow's data download. But this is pretty cool, no? It's pretty dope. Now, in terms of the missions, everything else is the same. The only thing that I will point out here, for those of you who are not going to be summoning, which is a lot of you, keep in mind that they're going to be offering double the medals here. So you're going to be getting 4 and 4 of each of the Dokkan Festival medals. So even if you're not summoning, you should still do these missions and you should still get them done before the time limit, because that way, whenever they do come back in a future banner, maybe a catch-up banner, maybe worldwide download, maybe Tanabata, maybe something else, you will have at least a little bit of a head start with these medals under your belt. Now, again, in terms of the summons, some people might say, Toon, there are tickets, there are discounts, I'm going to do it. I say, even though that this is all here, I still think you shouldn't. But hey, you do you. If you got to choose between one or the other, I would say go for this banner, because this one has, first of all, Hirudegarn, who is going to age better because there are not many good extreme class characters. Piccolo is still one of the best units in the game, in my opinion, in spite of 8-year and 9-year anniversary. And World Tournament Goku, who still got it going on. This guy is still good. He is still viable. And then you could argue some of these older characters are eventually going to be getting some EZAs, you know? I mean, they pushed ahead the Super Vegeta EZA, so who knows? Maybe Kid Buu will get an EZA during, I don't know, worldwide download. If it's like Majin Buu Saga or something. Who knows? So anyway, I'm done. I will be dropping a campaign review video later on today when the official campaign details drop, and then I will be summoning for these two bozos tonight. Later on tonight. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let in the comments your thoughts on these two banners. Will you summon with the discounts? Will you summon with the peel-off scam, trove, whatever you want to call it? Did you do all the missions in the quest mode? Are there any particular missions that you're struggling with? Anything else you want to talk about? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.